We're back with a bonus conversation you'll only see here on CBS News New York. Ed, I'd like to continue asking a few more questions about the Trump case. I wonder, first of all, if you think that this is going to have an effect on the primary, the Republican primary, and the other candidates who are seeking to get the nomination.
Oh, it certainly will have it'll have an immediate impact, already has, in fundraising for Donald Trump, and also with respect to him going up in the polls. I have no doubt with respect to his being the front runner. He is now even more the front runner in the primary.
So do you think this is going to have a chilling effect on the donors who might consider giving to other candidates?
No, I don't think this will have a chilling effect on donors to other candidates. Donors to other candidates were already committed there, and I think that the major donors will not shift with this case alone. They understand this is a bogus case, but they do understand it will help him. But we still have to go through the fire of Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, and that could change things very much.
Do you think it will change things for Donald Trump or for the other candidates?
It depends on the candidate. Some are somewhat known by reputation, but how they do face to face in Iowa and New Hampshire, which pride themselves on really looking the candidate in the eye, literally, and deciding whether they like him or not among the Republicans in those two states. So that can have an impact on it. Of course, they do know Donald Trump, but he has to go through that again. And whether he does well in it will be another question.
So Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, is actually going to be in New York tomorrow, Saturday. We're taping this on Friday, so people are going to be seeing it on Sunday. But he's coming here to Long Island for a campaign event to raise money. Do you think that that's going to make it more difficult for him to raise money, these charges that are spinning around about Donald Trump? And what does he say about Donald Trump when he comes here?
No, there's still a lot of enthusiasm for Ron DeSantis. He is sort of seen as Trump without the issues that surround Trump. And people like what he did with respect to the culture wars in Florida, what he did during COVID, that is ending the lockdown sooner than other states. And he looks, if he is tough and very conservative, and could, in fact, bring along the Trump base in the party. So those supporters will continue with Ron DeSantis.
So you're not counting Ron DeSantis out at this time?
No, not at all. I'm not counting anyone out. I mean, if you want someone who is not a Trump, and in the sense that he owes nothing to Trump, and that would be Glenn Youngkin, the exciting governor of Virginia, blue state. He wins it, grabbed the education issue, as you know, and did very well with that. But he's new. Untested, certainly, as is Ron DeSantis on the national stage, but both are doing very well in their home states. Of course, Ron DeSantis has had a head start in what he's been doing in Florida for one full term, while Glenn Youngkin in Virginia is just finishing his first year.
So are you at all worried about the possibility of protests when Mr. Trump surrenders to plead to the indictment?
I don't know. I don't think there'll quite be, certainly not a January 6th, if you will. This is New York. New York's used to taking things like this in stride and taking to Donald Trump in stride.
So when we first thought about doing the show together, I wanted to talk to you about you've just become reelected to be the chairman of the Republican Party, and you played an important role in helping to elect Republican congressmen in this last election cycle. And I'm wondering, are you hoping to take that success to other elections? First up is the city council races in New York City.
Well, what we did there was a 2.5-year effort, a huge team effort. It wasn't just me. It was John Faso was a co-leader of it, and Ron Lauder got involved in beating the amendments in 2021. A little bit technical, but if he hadn't done that, we would have lost one of our good legal arguments. The legislature tried to reinsert it by statute, but you can't overrule the Constitution with a statute. We had to get the redistricting commission funded. The Empire Center, the Center did that. Anyway, it's a long fight. They did their big gerrymander, wanted to limit us to four seats, stuffed the Republicans in the 4 seats. That was going to be it. They'd take the other 22. We filed in Steuben County, ended up in the highest court in New York State, the Court of Appeals, where we won, to everyone's amazement, since the judges were all appointed by Democratic governors. And Special Master came in, redrew all the seats. As a result, we have more competitive seats, which is good. Competitive seats in New York than any other state, a total of 9. And because we had a little red wave here in New York, not a national red wave, a little red wave in New York last November, we won 8 of those seats. Good candidates, they were well funded. And we shifted over, the whole team did, to doing an independent expenditure for Lee Zeldin, raised $17 million. Ron Lauder did half, we did half. And the result of his good campaign, then well funded by those funds, he did very well on Long Island, up the Hudson Valley. So that's how we won 8 of those 9 seats. We have 11 seats as opposed to the 4 they would have stuffed us into, and that's 7 seats, which are really by the difference with respect to our holding the House of Representatives and having Kevin McCarthy as the Speaker of the House.
So do you think you're going to be able to hold on to those seats in the next election cycle?
That's the issue for 2024, because 2024 is a presidential year. A lot more Democrats in a blue state show up. And if that's what normally happens, and that's what happens in 2024, these are competitive seats. We're going to have to fight hard to hold on to them. So the whole team that did the redistricting fight, the legal political redistricting fight, and then did the independent expenditure for Lee Zeldin, we just moved into the state committee. And we're gearing up for those congressional seats in 2025. But first, as you have started here, we need to be focusing on the local races, because those in many cases lead to the congressional races.
So I have just one last question. I wonder what's going to happen with George Santos. Will you be running another candidate on the Republican side, or will he be the candidate?
That's really a question for Nassau County, and they have answered it. Where all the leading Republicans, elected Republicans in Nassau County, led by the very good chairman there, Joe Cairo, they said they want him to resign, and resign as soon as possible.
Ed Cox, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you.